Okay, so obviously the first step is to take pictures. I just did this in the class to show you the concept. Obviously you will be doing this with people as opposed to this little Lego skeleton I did. Okay, so you can see here what I did is I just took some pictures. I'm going to use these three right here, and I'm going to add them together. The one thing you need to know is that the camera has to be on the tripod and cannot move. Okay, so now that I've imported them, I've copy and pasted them to my desktop, and I'm just going to open up Photoshop here, and I will open up those images. Okay, it's a little bit different than this video shows how to get all the images in the same folder, but you've done this before with Alphabet Photography, so this should be fairly simple for you. I'm just going to close this and open up my new documents. Okay, they're on the desktop. Here they are. And open. Okay. So you don't need to change the image size yet. I'm going to wait till all the images go into one image before I actually change the image size. That's going to save us a little bit of rendering time. As you can see here, it's loading super slow because these images are like the size of the whiteboard. They're huge. Okay, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to find out what pictures are what. Okay, so that one has nothing in it. I don't want to use that one. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, the one on the far left, I can use that one. So I'll use that one as my base. Okay, and okay, he's in the middle. I can just drag and drop the layer right on top there. Okay, and it goes right on top. And then immediately I'm going to close that one. And then check the next one out. Okay, you can see here it's the same image, but my hand is in it. Don't worry about that because we're going to take it out. I'm just going to close that one as well. This one, perfect, that one's in the background. And for the setup for the camera for this one, what I did is actually I just set a manual focus and I changed the aperture because I have various depths, and it really had to do with the camera I was using and the lens I was using, because I was using the 1.8, that red striped lens. Okay, so I really had to be careful of what I was using. Okay, so now if we look, I'm just going to close this one. Awesome. And now we should have 4 layers here. Okay, so I can click them all on and off, and you can see there's a little bit of color variation, but that should be okay. We can make this work. Okay, so obviously change the image size. Image size. Make sure these are all checked. Grab the biggest number in the document size and change it to 11. It'll go really small, but you just hit Control plus to get it big again. Sorry, Command plus, Control on a PC. Oop, too big. Okay, you want to be able to see the whole image with gray around it like this. Okay, so the first step I always do is turn off all the layers except for the background layer. Okay, so it's really important to know, remember what I said to memorize, is everything black in a layer mask is see-through. Okay, so we will not touch the background layer. What we're going to do is we're going to work on this first layer. Okay, so layer 1. Sometimes I turn it on and off to see what we're doing. Okay, so I know we're working on the guy in the middle here. So essentially what we do for every step is we click on the new layer and we hit this button. This is the layer mask button, and you'll see this little white square pop up. Okay, and you can see if I click on it, there's like a little border around it. That's how you know you're working in the right one. Okay, so you always have to make sure whenever you're painting black, it's in this layer. That's very, very important. And remember, anything black is see-through. How to get black is you can just click on that, and the top color is what you want. So black is my background, so I'm just going to switch that by clicking that. And then go to my brush tool. I've been seeing lots of you guys are using this art history brush, or the history brush tool. Don't use that. Please just use the brush tool. Okay, and we have our old funky brushes on there. I'm just going to go with a soft edge brush for right now because that's going to blend just a little bit better. And I double check that I'm on the right layer, and what we're going to do is basically this layer mask means anything I paint black is see-through, so it's going to go to the layer underneath. So watch my hand disappear, because essentially what we're doing is we're painting it black and letting it show underneath. Okay, so here's the other Lego dude, and you can see here what I'm doing is painting black, so that's making this see-through and letting me see underneath. So essentially you have to erase everything except for your little guy, or your person in your case. And you have to be really careful of lines and colors. Okay, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger now. And be careful not to touch your guy. Let's just say, for example, I'll zoom in here. Let's just say I accidentally paint his arm and it disappears. Like, oops, wrong color. Oh, okay, so this will happen. I don't know what just happened there. My layer mask moved. There we go. Okay, so if I'm on this layer, and if you can see it start to disappear, all I do is just do the opposite. So where you see black, you can change it to white, and it's going to reappear. There you go. Okay, so I have my two Lego dudes in the frame so far. And now we just repeat the process to the next step. Okay, so layer 2. So he's pretty close, so we're going to have to be really careful here. So layer 2, we turn it on. Okay, we give it a layer mask. Oops, make sure you're on the right layer. I wasn't. So layer mask, and then we're going to paint black everywhere we want to see through. Okay, and so we have this guy, and this is where you want to be very careful. Okay, because you can see half of him is actually already fading away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to a hard edge brush and paint it white around him, just so he comes back. There you go. Don't forget the shadow. Awesome. And you want to look for things that aren't lining up properly. Okay, and again, I'm going to make everything black except for my little guy there. You can see the color changing a bit. Okay, so you want to make sure everything works out. Okay, I'm happy with that. So far I have my three dudes. Everything lines up, everything's looking good. I'm happy with that. And now we're going to my last layer. Okay, this guy is going to be over top of the other one, right? So this one's going to be a little bit tricky, but it's really important to show you these, as this will happen to many of you. Okay, so layer mask and paint black. So these guys are easy. But now I'm getting to that one guy, and it's going to get really hard. Okay, make sure you paint all this in. Now we're just going to fine tune it. So, okay, so we'll try just going in. You can see here where there's like a slight color difference. Okay, I was able to just go in and touch it up like this. But let's just say I want to get really close to this guy. What I'm going to do is click on this layer. So this is going to have like this little box around it. I'm going to get my selection tool, my quick selection. Make sure sample all layers is on and auto enhance is on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click around him. Okay, this one has a lot of the same colors, so it's going to be very difficult to get a really crisp, clean line. Yeah, that's going to be very hard. Well, let's see if we can just do it with that. Okay, so now that I have that selected, what I can do is go select inverse. And I can just touch that up a bit. And hit D, Command D. Okay, touch up the other spots in the image if I need to look up here. Okay, there we go. So that is complete. I have my 4 people in here. It looks good. Everything's working. And then obviously I would just save it. Go File, Save for Web and Device. And you also want to upload all the individual pictures, just like Chloe did, so I can see exactly what you're doing. Okay, so it should look like this, and what we have on the blog here. So all of these. Okay, so for the first assignment, what you need to do is an image with 3. I'm asking you to use people and not little Lego guys like I did. And then for obviously your big, this is worth 20%. For your big assignment, it's worth 80%. So you have to have a really good story, obviously a much more attention to detail than I've done here. Awesome, that's it.